Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we'll be cutting just our front body first, and as you can see my fabric is folded into four, and I am going to go ahead and mark out the label on my fabric. I am using Ankara fabric, and for this style we are making use of 2.5 yards, or it depends on how big your child is. So the next thing I marked is my bust point, and then I went ahead to mark my half length. And please do well to add one inch stitching allowance at once you are done marking your half length. Then I will go ahead and connect up and mark all these lines straight. Once I am done with this, the next thing the next thing we are going to do is to mark half of our shoulder measurement. That's our shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'm going to go ahead and mark it. And because it's not going to have a sleeve, I am not adding any stitching allowance to it, so I'll just connect the line to my sleeve. The next thing I am going to mark is my shoulder measurement, my 1 inch for shoulder slope, sorry for the mix-up, and I'll connect it to the starting point. And then for my neckline, I am marking at 3 inches for the width, and then for the length, for the depth is I remarked it to be 2.5 inches, but if you want you can go ahead and mark 3 inches. Then for the depth is 3 inches. That's 2.5 inches by 3 inches, because I do not want it to be too wide. Then I'll connect it for a round neck. Once I am done with this, you're going to go ahead and mark quarter of your bust measurement, and then I'm adding 1.5 inches for stitching allowance, and I'll go ahead and curve my armhole. If you're using your French curve, there's no need for you to start going in by ½ inch at the armhole area, but if you're using a freehand, it will serve as a guide for you to start measuring your armhole and then go in by ½ inch. If you've been watching my videos, you would have learned this by now. Then I marked my waist measurement divided by 4, and I'll go ahead and connect my bust and my armhole. And that's it for the front bodice. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, please take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share my videos to family and friends, and please do not skip my ads. I beg you. So I'm just transferring this fabric to another one, and if you can see I added 1 inch for zipper, and then for my back neckline I went down by 1.5 inches, and every other side is the same thing. I am cutting out the same as my back bodies. And then at my center back I'm going up by ½ inch, sorry, and I'll connect it to my seam side. The reason for this is so that by the time the child wears it, it's fixed perfectly, because they have more tummy than they have more tummy at this early stage. So if you cut out this half inch, it's going to give them more fitting. So this is it after I was done cutting out every pieces, and I cut out my lining pieces. As you know, in this channel I always use the same fabric for my lining, and I also cut out my lining pieces for my back. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add my lining to my fabric facing front, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch my necklines, and also for the back. Once I am done with this, I'll make small notches around the neckline, then I'll turn it to the right side, and I'll do the same thing for the back. So once we are done, we're going to go ahead and work on that design that you saw there. So we're going to go ahead and measure where we want it to be. From the tip of our shoulder, I'm going to measure all the way to my half length, and I have about 12.5 inches there. So I'm going to be using this black fabric for it. I'll measure it. I have a 14 inches. So the reason, and then for the width of it I have 1.5 inches. The reason for it to be longer is so that I will be on the safe side. Once I am done, I'll trim off the excess. So I'll fold in by ½ inch and stitch it all the way down, and then once I am done, I'll fold in the other side by ½ inch as well and stitch down. And I'll do the same thing for the other side. And remember, you are doing this for just your main fabric. I did not attach it to my lining. So this is it after I was done. We're going to now go ahead and work on our shoulder, and for this I am doing front facing front for my shoulders. If you have means of ironing as you sew, please go ahead and iron your pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do front facing front, and as you can see the way I opened my shoulder, please go ahead and open yours. Make sure that your shoulder line stitching is matching, and then you're going to go ahead and start pinning it down. And I'll pin the shoulder seam line down first, and then I'll start pinning every other side. Once I am done pinning this, I'll do the same thing for the other shoulder, and then I'll go to my sewing machine and stitch it down by 1/2 inch. So this is it after I was done stitching it down. You can see that the shoulder is well tucked in. The two sides of the shoulder, the front and the back is well tucked in. You won't see any stitching around the shoulder. So the next thing we're going to do is to work on our armhole, and if you've been watching my video, you would have seen me do this a couple of times. So all you have to do is to fold your so I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Once you fold this, you are going to use the armhole and then cover in the folding that you just made, and you make sure that your two stitching shoulder stitching is matching each other. You've pinned down that place first, and then you're going to go ahead and start pinning all around the armhole. Once you are done pinning this armhole, I'm going to go ahead to my sewing machine and stitch it down. And once I am done, I'll pull it out from the other side and then do the same thing for the other armhole, sorry. So this is the way to pull it out, and you repeat the same process for the other armhole. We had to move to a different location because the light has been messing us up these days, so that's why I am going to move to another location. So you can see our armhole is well tucked in. Every pieces is well tucked in, looking nice and good. So we are going to go ahead and work on our seam side, and for this I'm going to do front facing front as well. And remember, we added 1.5 stitching allowance, so I'm going to stitch it down by 1.5 stitching allowance. So this is it after stitching it down. If you want to do invisible stitching like ready to wear, please check out my ball gown tutorial on it, you will see it. So this is for my gathers. I've gone ahead to take out my half length and then cut out the remaining 1 + 2 inches allowance for stitching. I'll go ahead and hem this, fold it into 2, and then for the gather stitching I'll run stitch and then gather it to my waist measurement. Remember not to gather your waist measurement, your stitching, not to gather your zipper allowance. Sorry for the distraction. And this is it. Once I am done, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to our bodice, and we are going to be doing front facing front as well, and then stitch it down. So this is for the bow on our fabric. For the length of it, I have about 8 inches, and then for the width I have 6 inches. So it's folded into 2, and I'll go ahead and attach this interfacing to it, and you can see what I am using. I'm using a bridal satin for it. So once I am done with it, you can see I will fold it into 2 and then stitch all the way around, leaving some allowance to turn it to the right side. So this is it after I was done stitching it down and I turned it to the right side. So we're going to go ahead and fold it into 2 and then use my hand to press it so that I will have a crisp line showing the center of it. Then I'm going to go ahead and use my hand needle to gather this, just like this way you see me do. Please go ahead and do this. Using your machine is going to be difficult because the fabric is thick already. So once I get to the end of the fabric, I'll pull it out, and then I'll pull it out. I'll use it to tie, just like you see me. Just look at the video, you understand what I am trying to say. Once I am satisfied with what I have, I'll go ahead and secure the thread. Then I have this fabric about 2.5 inches for the width, and is on fold, and the length is about 5 inches. I stitch it at one side of it and turn it to the right side. So we are going to use it to cover this, just like you see me do. So this is our gown. We are done attaching the gathers, and I also went ahead to attach my zipper to it. And the next thing we are going to do is to attach our bow to it, and I'm going to cut out the excess on that on the piece that we used to cover the stitches, and then I'll turn it to the right side, and I'll go ahead and attach it to our gown. And that's basically all for this style. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, please take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button. Do not skip my ads, please. I just want to keep saying this because as it is now, I might I might go broke soon if you keep skipping my ads. Please don't skip my ads, I beg you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.